Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 29, I believe, of Zack Plays Katawa Shoujo. Last time we left off, we're trying to get closer to Emmy, and we're trying to patch up our relationship because it's a little poopy right now, just because she's not letting me in, she's not trusting me. Lean on me. Anyway, so we're trying to patch up that relationship. So remember, this is an adult Let's Play, and it very well could contain nudity, so if you're not okay with that, then please click away now. But let's get into it, shall we? Let's. Sorry I didn't have a face cam in episode 27, I think. I am recording these all in a row because of crazy hair. We're eating dinner with her mom right now, and she's changing subjects. I mean, sudden change of topic makes me realize belatedly that she's been fidgeting the whole time her mother and I have been talking. I should have figured on her being a little skittish when it comes to talking about the accident, even around her mother. No, I didn't make it out to the festival, remember? Although I caught a glimpse of it as you tracked me, it seemed pretty weird to me. I think that's more or less what she was going for. She talked a lot about it being dreamlike, or trying to make it dreamlike. Ren's art is one of those things I don't think I'll ever understand. That's not surprising. I don't think Ren expects to be understood. She told me once that art allows people to understand stuff they wouldn't understand otherwise, but all the same, she doesn't think it actually works that way. I'm surprised that Emmy's talked about this with Ren extensively enough to actually have Ren's opinion, such as it is. You mean like a formulated opinion, since Ren is so weird and she just shrugs at everything? Although I expect that Ren could not, if she were so inclined, say the same thing about Emmy's. Unless, of course, Emmy is purposely keeping me in the dark about everything, which is likely, but unpleasant to think about. I drift down this unpleasant train of thought for a while, losing track of the conversation. Hey Emmy, I've been meaning to ask. Huh. Are you going to visit your father this year? From the way she says it, you'd think Emmy's mother was talking about the weather. From the way Emmy reacts, it's clearly not the weather they're talking about. She flinches, a slight jerk of the head backwards as if she's been slapped in the face. Can we talk about this later? Her voice sounds brittle, strained. It looks as if she's been severely shaken by the question. Seems that Mrs. Ibarazaki misjudged how close Emmy and I are. Some things, it seems, are best not conversed about, with me around. Her father is one of those things. The accident that took her legs is probably another one of those things. If her reaction to the earlier conversation between her mother and myself is any indication, it doesn't take Emmy's mother long to realize she screwed up. Of course we can, dear. I'm sorry to bring it up. I just wanted to ask how I could make plans. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Emmy fidgets nervously, as if embarrassed by her own reaction. I confess that her reaction is confusing. She only just mentioned her father to me earlier today, less than a few hours ago even. Why does a simple question about when she'll visit her father cause such a strong reaction? Unless whatever serenity she claimed to have reached by means of our talk the previous evening has suddenly evaporated, or it didn't help as much as she thought, or claimed. I'll be right back. Gotta visit the little girl's room. Go cry like a baby. Emmy gets up and suddenly leaves the table, leaving me and Mrs. Ibarazaki alone. I'm a little conflicted. Should I go after her, or should I stay here? It's obvious that Emmy's departure was not based on the call of nature. Something's bothering her, and I have to know what it is. How should I go about it? I need to talk to her mom. There's an awkward silence at the table for a while, after Emmy dashes off. I can't think of anything to say. Emmy's mother sighs, breaking the silence. Sorry about that, Asia. I sometimes forget that Emmy's touchy about certain subjects. And I was talking about the wheelchair thing, too. Should I go after her? Heavens, no. She didn't leave the table to continue the conversation, you know. What if she's troubled? Shouldn't someone help her? If there were anyone else, I'd say yes, but my daughter is stubborn as a mule. My daughter's stubborn as a mule. Southern voice fits her perfectly now. And if she wants to be alone, it's best to let her be alone. Yep, made the right decision. Otherwise, she'll probably say something she'll regret, which would cause you to say something you regret. I would prefer that dinner doesn't end with one or both of you storming out of this house. If that were to happen, I'd be a terrible hostess, wouldn't I? I've already acted as a fool once today. That's okay. I shouldn't have brought up the wheelchair, apparently. Mr. Ibarazaki frowns, clearly more bothered by Emi's omission than she let on. I wish you wouldn't do that. It makes me worry more, you know. She does this often? What, running off to the bathroom? No, I can't say she does. Keep injuries from her mother, though. Well, that's a little more common. Every time I catch her lying like that, she assures me that the only reason she didn't tell me is because it wasn't a big deal. If it's any consolation, I'm sure the only reason I knew about it at all was because I saw her every day. This elicits a dry chuckle from across the table. Mr. Ibarazaki sighs, a little sadly. Still hesitant about getting close to people, huh? I keep hoping that she'll get over that. It's funny, really. She's bounced back so well from the accident in so many ways. I guess some things never really go away. From the looks of it, the whole thing still bothers her, too. She seems to be a little more willing to talk about the accident without Emmy around, though. Hey, I've got a question, if it's alright. Oh? Oh? What else did Emmy lose in that accident? The nurse said that she gets this way near the anniversary and she won't talk about it to me. So you thought I'd fill you in, yeah, hopefully. Well, there's a problem with that request, you know. Let me guess, you promised Emmy that you wouldn't tell anyone she didn't want to know. And you don't know if she wants me to know. Something like that. I promised Emmy that she'd be the one to tell people the full story. But isn't that important? I mean, it's clearly had a huge effect on her, if she's like this so long after the accident happened. It's true. It'd have a long-lasting effect on her. There are a few things that she'll probably never really get over. For a moment, Miss Ibarazaki looks incredibly saddened, as if an old wound is bothering her again. I suppose there are a few things I'll never really get over either. Another dry chuckle. With a shake of her head, Emmy's mother banishes the memory. Look, there's something you absolutely must understand about the way Emmy thinks about the accident. What's that? It wasn't a big deal. Somehow, I managed to keep my mouth from falling open in surprise. But it takes some effort. That has to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I beg your pardon? Okay, maybe it's not that simple, but it's a pretty accurate summation. Emmy believes that the accident did not define her, and that everything she lost that day didn't define her either. She's not that girl who lost her legs. She's the fastest thing on no legs. Her optimism and energy came out of that wreck without a scratch, as far as she's concerned. Yet it goes beyond that, doesn't it? I mean, last night she told me that she refused to rely on me because it would make losing me too painful. Not really. You said she won't tell you about the accident, even though you've asked her about it before. The reason she won't talk about it when you ask is because to her it's not something you absolutely need to know. Even if she wasn't terrified of getting too close to anyone, she still wouldn't talk about it. She's afraid of being close to me? Oh, goodness me. Yes. For all that talk about being unscathed by the accident, she's gained the ugly knowledge of how quickly it can all be over. This music is intense. It's making this all so intense. So she's not going to let people get especially close to her, and she certainly would resent any implication that she cannot work through this on her own. But I don't think she can. Oh no? Are you sure you've been dating my daughter and not somebody else? Trust me, Hichao. She could get through it on her own. But she has nightmares, can't sleep well, and she does this every year. Tell me, if she wasn't able to get through it on her own, do you really think she'd still be alive? She would have killed herself, or something equally melodramatic. So what, I shouldn't try to help her? I didn't say that. I hate seeing my daughter like this. Knowing that she could rely on someone else would let me relax. You just need to understand that accepting help goes against everything that Emmy thinks about herself and the way the world works. If you still want to offer her help, then I guess that's your call. Honestly, I'd like you to, but it'd be silly not to warn you that it's not going to be easy. You just need to be patient with her. She's already closer to you than anyone else she's ever met at Yamako. Well, it doesn't feel like we're very close. Good, that makes this part easier. Emmy's voice nearly gives me a heart attack. Whoa! Didn't hear you come back, Emmy. How convenient. Wait, were you eavesdropping? Nope, just happened to come back at the right moment, I guess. Emmy, Hichao was just... Emmy holds up a finger, cutting her mother off. Oh, wow. On his way out of the house? Yeah, I know.
Was I supposed to run after her? Ah!
Emmy's trembling with anger now, looking vaguely betrayed. Emmy, don't be ridiculous. We were just... You promised. The pain carried in that last word is almost too much for me to bear. The idea that I could hurt her that much is like being kicked in the gut. His mother looked similarly pained by the thought. And I kept that promise. Just listen. There's no reason to go throwing people out of the house. Emmy's mother just seems to be both angry at her daughter's outburst and embarrassed that I'm a witness to it. There's only one real solution to this problem, I think. It's okay. I'll go. Now really, that seemed a little unnecessary. Don't worry about it. Thank you for dinner, Mr. Ibarazaki, and for the advice. It was my pleasure, Hijao. I'm sorry we didn't get to the dessert. That's okay. I have to watch what I eat anyway. Good evening, Emmy. Good evening, Emmy, Mrs. Ibarazaki. Formality of our conversation, coupled with the fact that I'm getting ready to leave, seems to snap Emmy out of anger. No, wait, I'm sorry, I've been so... After last night, I just thought... You don't have to go, I take it back, it's okay. I can't help but smile slightly. She could barely articulate her apology. I really would like to stay, but I don't think I can right now. I need to think about what her mother said, and about what I'm going to do about us. I don't want to risk accidentally getting Emmy angry again in her current state, either. No, I think I'd better leave. You seem pretty shook up, and well, I'd only wind up trying to help you again. I know you'd prefer I didn't, so I'm going to leave instead. But, hey, it's not a problem. You don't want a knight on a white charger, right? Just promise me one thing, okay? What? Don't be angry at your mom, okay? She was just trying to give me some advice, that's all. Emmy nods, hesitantly. Like this simple idea is all she can grab onto at this point. She's so terribly off balance, but I can't do anything about that right now. Okay. See you tomorrow, okay? Running in the morning. Don't forget. I can see that I've hurt Emmy by deciding to leave, but there's nothing I can do for her as things stand. And I know that she's too stubborn to admit that she wants me to stick around. I watch various emotions cross Emmy's face as she tries to process everything that's just happened. Shortly comes that calm look again, like last night, and that voice that tries so hard to sound careless. Sure, Hijao. See you around. Both of us are unwilling to concede emotion at this point, and I'm having a hard time keeping up my facade, so I turn on my heel to walk out the door. Oh, damn! This shit's so serious, like, God. The writing, you have to just give it up for the writing, because the writing is just... It captures the emotion and everything so well that even though there's not a lot of visuals to go on, it is like a visual novel, you know? It's very descriptive and stuff. You feel like you can picture this stuff happening, and it hits you in the feels. God. I feel like, I mean, I made a promise to you guys that I wouldn't change any of my decisions. I made a promise, and I'm a man of my word. I'm not changing any of my decisions. If I make a decision that causes Emmy and I to break up or whatever, then I'm standing by it. I told you guys that I would, and I'm a man of my word. So I'll never know what would have happened if I made the other decision, but I have to stick by my decision. I felt like the only person that I could have talked to get more insight was Emmy's mom. The nurse wouldn't tell me. Emmy wouldn't tell me. Rin wouldn't tell me. You know, there's nobody else that I could have talked to about it except her mom. And I felt like running after her wasn't the right solution either. So, I think Hijau did the right thing. I think Hijau did the right thing in leaving. It lets... That way... Emmy and her mom, they can talk about the whole thing. I can go back, I can think about it, I can think about how to deal with everything. I think it went... It didn't go well, that's for fucking sure, but it went... I feel like this is good. This is good for everybody here. You know? I feel like it. I shut it behind me slowly, pausing for a moment as the latch catches, my hand on the doorknob. Did I make the right decision just now? Should I have stayed and tried to work things out? No, I decide. Not in front of her mother like that. In spite of everything, I'd rather keep Emmy's mother insulated from the sort of anger that surfaced last night. Even though she's probably used to it, some protective instinct wants me to keep Emmy's image as a cheerful girl intact. With a start, I realize my hand is still resting on the doorknob. I take my hand away, put it in my pocket, and head down the slowly darkening street. I let out a long breath. The wait until tomorrow morning comes isn't going to be easy. In any case, I have to think on what to say to Emmy. I must apologize, but I must get through to her somehow. On that account, something has been on my mind for most of the way back to my room. The letter of apology from Iwanako. I was so concerned about my new life when I received it that I didn't even bother to really read it. Now that I found myself in a similar position, my curiosity got rekindled. What did she want to let me know so badly? If nothing else, reading her thoughts might help me frame mine. I remember tossing it away. Damn, where did I have to throw that thing? Check under my desk. That turns up nothing, so I look even for harder to reach, more unlikely locations. Well, now I know where that lost sock went, at least. Still, no letter though. It's when I try sweeping my arm under the nightstand that I feel something crinkly jammed between it and the wall. Grunting a little, with the effort, I reach for my prize and soon manage to bring it into the light. Bingo! Alright, let's read this paper. I sit at my desk and spread through the crumpled paper again. A flick turns on the table light. Skipping past the empty pleasantries, I look for the point where I stopped reading. Ah, here it is. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. The truth is, the times when I visited you at the hospital made me worried about you. I'm not talking about your health. You seem to become more distant and disheartened. It was natural after something like that happened, I'm sure. But somehow I got the feeling that you had given up on something back then. Happiness, maybe? Giving up on happiness. This sounds unpleasantly familiar. I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I am really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered the most, even though I like you so much. At least now, finally, I can be more honest. If I could go back to those quiet days in February and March, I'd tell you not to give up on yourself. That's what I would say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far away if I had just said something. I hope you've managed to get back on your own feet again. Now that the distance between us is also physical, it also feels more final somehow. I wonder if we will meet again. Perhaps it's still for the best if we don't. Still, if you would like to correspond with me, by all means write me back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school. I know how you are doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Iwanako. After finishing reading the letter, I smoothed it out carefully and set it aside on my desk. Thank you, Iwanako. I wanted to answer yes to your question about the snowy winter day, but I never got to. By the time we met again, it was too late, or so I thought. What would have happened if I had behaved differently, back in that dismally sterile hospital room? I'm sorry, there's no point in wondering now, but there's no point in trying to forget either. I know who I am because of all that happened to me, and all I look forward to experience, present, future, and past. And the past may have taught me an important lesson now. I'm having a revelation here. New act, baby! We got this. Motion, Act 4 motion. We got this, guys. We got this. We're gonna bring it back. We're gonna get married. We're gonna have babies. And it's gonna be great. They're gonna be super running babies. And it's gonna be great. The sound of my alarm is an unwelcome intrusion on a sleep that's been a battle to obtain. I doubt I've been truly asleep for more than an hour or two. Too much on my mind. Did I make the right choice, leaving the house yesterday? Did I manage to get Emmy to realize how unreasonable she's been? Am I ever going to manage to get her to stop being unreasonable? Emmy's mom gave me a new perspective on the other day, but I'm still not sure if that's the right perspective. She was hurt when I left yesterday, too. I I know that part of any conversation is going to have to include an apology about that. Right thing to do or not, I heard her. I hurry down to the track, eager to talk to Emmy. I think I know what to say. Apologize for leaving first, and go ahead from there. Unless, of course, Emmy doesn't show up, which from the looks of things seems like it's the case. It's been about 15 minutes since I got here, and there's no sign of her. She's never late, not unless she's sick, which is unlikely. She probably just doesn't want to see me right now. To take my mind off what that implies, I begin my warm-up routine and take off around the track. It clears my head wonderfully. For the half hour I'm running, I don't think about anything but the run. Dude, you're running for a half hour. You crazy. However, once I finish, and Amy still hasn't shown up, I get a little worried. With any luck, the nurse will know where she is. Nothing else, so I can see what he thinks I should do next. So, last night didn't go too well, I take it? Huh? You already know? I have my ways, and it's not as if I'd missed the distinct absence of your running partner this morning, now would I? No, I suppose not. So, what happened? Don't you know already? Maybe, but I could be bluffing. Perhaps I prefer to get your side of the story before I give any advice. I quickly fill the nurse in on the events of last night, and he takes it all in without changing expression once. Nothing about the whole event seems to surprise him, although he does seem surprised when I say that I didn't follow Emmy. Just to talk to her mom instead, huh? Smart move, though I guess it didn't work out too well for you in the end. Yay, I did the right thing. Well, I'm not sure. Emmy seemed apologetic when I left, or at least she seemed that way until she put up her defenses again. The nurse sighs and spreads his hands in a consolatory manner. Frankly, I'm surprised she let them down at all. Emmy's had a lot of practice on that score. You probably won't get anything else out of her. I don't believe you. Is that so? You think she'll tell you the whole tale? I'd swear I just saw the nurse's eyes glitter a little. His expression is the same, but he leans forward, ever so slightly. I think she'll open up if I ask her without being an idiot about it. Yeah. Nurse gives an enigmatic smile in response and shrugs widely. I think he's enjoying his role a little too much. That's a real trick, isn't it? Are you sure you know the right way to approach the subject? I can guarantee that Emmy is going to try her hardest to pretend last night didn't happen. It will be painfully awkward for the both of you, but it will also be a lot safer than trying to ask her for the whole story again. It could go worse this time. Are you ready for something like that? It sounds like a challenge, like he doesn't believe for a minute that I'd be so bold. I actually feel a little insulted by his lack of confidence. Of course I'm ready for that. I love her. Oh. My outburst gets a raised eyebrow in response. Well then. Good luck. Let me know how it all turns out. Although he delivers his parting shot with the same smirk as usual, I actually think that the nurse wants me to succeed. I resist the urge to charge directly to Emmy's room to prove the nurse wrong. I've gone in half-cocked before, and the results were less than stellar. If I'm going to do this, I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to say, and how I'm going to say it. Something to think about in class. Sure enough, by the time lunch rolls around, I think I have a good idea of what to say. I can do this. The bell rings and I grab my lunch and dash up the stairs, eager to be there first. Only to ask Ren to leave, and I'll need to... Hi, Hejao. Sorry I wasn't able to run with you this morning. I overslept. Somehow both Emmy and Rin have managed to get on the roof before me. Oh, that's no problem. Last night was kind of draining, I guess. Emmy's expression doesn't alter in the slightest. Yeah, sorry about that. I've had such a weird morning since then. Uh-huh, really. Emmy proceeds to make small talk for the rest of the time. I can barely get a word in edgewise, and soon find myself interjecting with a sort of back-and-forth dialogue that seems to have defined our early relationship. I'm not gonna get anywhere unless problem during lunch, obviously. I can respect that. Emmy obviously doesn't want to accidentally pull Rin into things, and that's fine. Not that I think Rin would even notice, but I can at least respect that sort of rationale. I try a different tactic. Hey Emmy, what are you up to after class today? I was thinking we could go somewhere for dinner or something. Emmy looks genuinely remorseful. Sorry, Hijao. I promised the draft captain that I'd stick around after practice and help some of the other kids with their farm. It'll have to be some other time. Yeah, sure. Mostly not sure what to do now. Maybe diving into things the day after would be a bad idea anyway. She might still be angry about it and just not showing it. Besides, if she's got a track team responsibilities, that's fine, right? Tell myself some variation on this theme the next day. But the next, I wake up, run with Emmy, during which she refuses to talk about anything but the run, and what she was doing the night before, and then lunch, where we sit and make small talk until the bell rings. Her new responsibilities effectively keep me from seeing her outside of school. Maybe, just maybe, I'm letting it happen because it's safer this way, just like the nurse said. Except while it may be safer, I'm feeling more and more wretched. Emmy doesn't look good, and when I see her anymore, dark circles lurk under her eyes. She seems more and more distracted, and I can't bring myself to ask just what's wrong. Because the timing never seems right. I'm absolutely miserable. Happy music, happy music, happy music. When it's sad, it's really sad, really sad. Ugh. Another lunch comes. I trudge up the stairs to the rooftop like a condemned man. Grin is up there, but Emmy is not. Immediately I worry that something's happened to her. Maybe the lack of sleep finally made her collapse, or something worse. She seemed pretty tired after her morning run. Maybe she fell asleep and didn't make it to class. Hey Ren, where's Emmy? In response, I get a rather penetrating look for Ren. Something approaching a frown appears on her face. Is that information really important? I think so. She's usually here with you, isn't she? I don't know. I have no way of being sure. I confirm that she is, in fact, usually here with you when I come up. Wow, she isn't now. Does that worry you? Kind of. That seems to end the conversation, and the point becomes moot anyway because Emmy bounds through the door with her usual energy. And we're gonna end the episode now, for it's like another 30-minute episode. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Episode 28, I think, maybe, of Zack Plays Katawa Shoujo. Things aren't looking good, guys. They're not getting good. They're not looking good. I don't know if I've made some mistakes or something, but we gotta stick by them, guys. We gotta stick by our decisions. So, remember that I upload every single day at 2 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so if you want to see extremely consistent content, then go ahead and feel free to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you like the video, then like the video, because that's what you should do when you like a video. If you honestly, truly, in your heart dislike the video, then go ahead and feel free to leave a dislike on the video. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Hopefully we'll patch this stuff up. I'm really hopeful that we will. And I'll see all of you guys in the next episode.